Hello guys, I'm Phyllis and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cute unicorn. If you learn how this unicorn is sitting, you'll be able to make lots of other animals too, like deer, gazelles and horses. It's full of key points, so watch the video till the end. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to start with the unicorn's body, and I've got 97 grams of white fondant, and we add some Tylus powder into our fondant. That is so important at this step. But if it's the first time that you're making this body shape, first make the body without any Tylus powder and practice. Once you get the hang of it, then start using the Tylus powder. Because if you use Tylus and can't shape the body correctly, your fondant will dry out and you won't be able to use it anymore. So I'm rolling this into a bowl. The most important point about using white fondant is that your hand should be so clean. So in this regard, you have to wash your hands and be sure to dry your hands with a paper towel to keep lint off the fondant. And after that, don't touch anything. By doing this, I ensure your fondant stays clean. Then forming it into an oval shape. Then I use my finger to leave a little dent in the middle of unicorn's body. Actually, I'm dividing the body into two parts, the front of the body and the back of the body. Then, by pulling the front of the body upwards, I'm shaping the unicorn's neck. For unicorn's hands, we need 5 grams of fondant and 8 grams for her leg. First, we'll start with her legs. For making her legs, add some Tylus powder, then make a bowl. After making a bowl, taper it slightly at the end. Now, like her body, leave a little dent in the middle of the leg. Make sure the bottom of the legs are even. They shouldn't be unevenly thick or thin. Then we fold it from the middle and press here to make it completely sharp. Now I'm going to squish it down to make it round. It should go from an oval shape to a round shape. and make sure that the second one is the same as the first one. At the end, we make the legs the same length. For her hands, I use 5 grams of fondant and add some tiles into it. Shape it into an oval and leave a little dent into the middle with my finger. Now I'm flattening the upper part of her arm and leaving the lower part as is. For making her hooves, we need really tiny balls of white fondant, almost less than 1 gram. Now I'm shaping it into a slight oval and then cut both sides of it a little bit. After that, I sharpen the edges completely. After this, it might get a bit deformed or have our fingerprints on it, so using a smoother will reshape it back into a cylinder. And then brush a small amount of glue on the leg and attach the hoof gently. For the unicorn's face, I've taken 50 grams of white fondant, added some Tiles powder to it, and rolled it into a bowl. Emphasize that if you're practicing, you should avoid adding Tiles powder, so you can reshape and reuse the fondant multiple times. I slightly shape it like a teardrop and then pull this part upward a little. Then I pick one side and deepen the dent. We need this particular shape. Meanwhile, try to keep the fondant in shape, as it might have become deformed. For the next step, I insert a wooden skewer into this part of her body. Now, before positioning the face at any angle we want, first make a hole. For example, if you want the tip of her nose to point downwards, make sure to place the hole just below the nose, angled upward. For her ear, I've got a tiny amount of white fondant, taper it at the end and squish it down slightly. After that, I'm going to take my tool and make it like this. Then I'm going to flatten down the top half slightly and attach them together like this. For her horn, take 2 grams of white fondant and roll it into a bowl. And taper it at the ends like this. Make sure to do this carefully or else the horn will not look good. Then I fold it from the middle and start twisting it from the top. For making unicorn's hair, you can use any color you like and even multiple colors. I'm using simple pink because I also want to make some flowers. If I didn't want to make flowers, I would definitely use more colors for her. So, to make her hair, we form the fondant into tube-like shapes, taper one end and flatten it, and make many of these in different sizes. Then add lines to it to mimic her strands. And for her tail also, we need the same shape as this. Now I'm going to make the flowers for her head. To do this, we need a foam pad, tools, and a circle or a teardrop cutter. If you don't have a teardrop cutter, the circle one is pretty good also. To make the flowers, choose any color of fondant you like and roll it out. Make sure not to roll it out too thin. I've previously taught you how to make the flower. If you want to learn in detail, be sure to check out the tutorial I linked for you. cut the fondant into a rectangle, not too big. Place it on the foam pad and using the tool, thin out these two edges. Then, starting from the thinner edge, I'm going to twist the fondant to the size I want and cut off the excess. Then, using our fingers, we can adjust and refine the flower's shape. Like this, and also we can trim the end if needed. However, I won't trim now because I'm going to add more petals. I'm going to roll out the rest of the fondant as thin as possible because the petals look better when they are very thin. Now place them on the foam pad and thin out half of each piece. Now brush a small amount of glue and attach the petals. To do this, I fully attach one side of the petal while leaving the other side open, like this. Now I'll also glue the sides of the petals that were left open and attach them gently. I'll carry these edges out a bit to make it look nicer. Then I'm going to trim off the excess. For making her eyes, I take a tiny amount of black fondant, roll it into a ball, taper it slightly at the ends, and shape it like this. Let it dry a little bit to make it easier to attach. Before I attach her eye, I'll apply her blush. I'm using pink powder color and making sure to use a soft brush for better blending. For making her hooves and horn gold, you can use any gold color you prefer. I usually mix the gold color with alcohol because they combine well and distribute evenly. You can also use water, but that might cause the brush to leave lines on the fondant, resulting in an uneven distribution. If you're making a dummy cake, you can also use rubbing alcohol. And the downside of using oil for mixing is that after a few days, the gold color may spoil and turn green or black. So using oil is suitable only for immediate use. And there you have this really adorable unicorn. I think it turned out super cute and I hope you like it too and try it out. Hope to see you again in my next videos.